Hi, everybody. Before we get to another great interview, we could really use your help. IMDb, which is the entertainment database, recently named the Two Opinionated podcast one of its top 100 podcasts. This is a monumental feat for this program. We're a father and son team out of a small town in West Virginia, have been doing this for about 5 years. There's 15 million podcasts out there. About 40,000 of those get to the point that they're listed on IMDb. Out of those 40,000 out of the 15 million, we were ranked number 82. Something that we're just immensely proud of. We're so thankful for our listeners, our watchers, our fans. Thank you so, so much. If you would like to help us out, and we're asking for it, please. It's easy. It's really easy. It's free. If you go to IMDb, that's imdb.com, look up Two Opinionated Podcast, and just take a look at the page. That's all you have to do. I mean, you're welcome to look at the cast, look at the episodes so you can kind of see who's been on the program. Do whatever you want. But even just bringing up the page, imdb.com, Two Opinionated Podcast, bring up the page, look at it. That helps us so much. So please, if you can do anything, we would really appreciate that. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Love to have your subscription there. It's also free. And you can also check out our website, meistercon.com, where you'll find almost 700 episodes, audio and video, available on there. There's also a terrific blog from Brett, and it'll let you know anything that we have going on in studio, if we're covering a convention, if we're going on location, anything that we have going on will be on the website, meistercon.com. Thank you guys so, so much. We appreciate you so much. I can't express enough how appreciative we are of all of you. We never expected to do as well as we have, and that's all because of you. Thank you so much. Enjoy that interview. Bye, everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Two Opinionated. I am so excited today. I've got actor, director Anson Williams with me and actress Sharon Williams with me. So welcome to you both.
Hi. Nice to be here. It's Sharon's like, you're a homie with this show.
Yeah, I am. I actually am.
Yeah. You are.
Yeah,
you are. Now, I was so thrilled to have both of you on. Of course, Anson, I grew up, watching you on TV. You were one of the, Happy Days, one of the first cable TV shows that I was exposed to. We got cable in 1978. They were showing Happy Days reruns on it, and that was my exposure. Before that, I probably saw it, but was too young to really know what I was watching. But then when they showed reruns, I was right there. Yeah,
cool.
So, yeah. Cool. The 70s and 80s, pretty nice time to grow up. Probably why we keep making shows about that time period. We all miss those days. Less complicated.
They were very defined periods where, it was a very fair time. Yeah. And we didn't have all this complexity of niches of, my God, from you name it, there's a niche. No, that's not black. That's sort of black.
Right.
But the other kind of black for the black, and maybe it's not black. I mean, back then it was like very tactile, really, really down home, very basic, and pretty much a better loving time.
I think so too. Even our programming. I mean, all the shows tended to be, if they weren't like maybe a police procedural, you got the happier shows. So you got Happy Days and Love American Style and Love Boat, Fantasy Island, all that stuff. And we all just enjoyed it because at the end of it, we knew it was going to be wrapped up in a nice little bow.
Yeah. Well, it was a little bit of a fanciful way of connecting with the priority of life, which is family and friends and giving before taking. There were very subtle messages there, and it felt really good for the audience. There was something very comforting about that, and they needed that. And at the end of those programs, they felt that. Then they went back to their real life, but but there was something about it that really created a positive connection for that moment. And we had a lot of programs like that. We've lost our way a bit today, but yeah, at the time. And today, it's interesting, Happy Days, we actually, January 6th, will be 50 years.
Amazing.
When it aired. 50 years. And today, all these kids are new fans. They're seeing it on Pluto. They're seeing it on all these other Paramount Plus, all these other areas, streaming, whatever. And they're connecting with it again.
Yeah.
Because Happy Days has always been old. You know, it was set in the 50s. It's never been new. So it's always new. Because
That's
it's a period that these kids, they're learning about. Oh, we're connecting with this period. We're connecting with these characters again. We're connecting with the stories again. We're connecting with something that feels so good and they need in their lives. And we're getting this whole new fan base. That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty great. I like the fact too that, you know, our younger generation, I'm a pawpaw now. I've got, you know, I got a group of grandkids. Our younger generation, they don't really know that time period. So if Happy Days is a way for them to get introduced to the 50s and kind of get to know that, maybe it gets them interested in some of the history that was going on back then, and we can kind of get to them that way. So I love that part of it.
Yeah.
And it is, because of streaming, we can go back and watch those anytime.
And what's interesting, though, we went on the air in 74. So actually, in 74, these young kids, we brought them to the attention of the 50s. And today it's no different. You know, it's 2023, but we're still bringing them, you know, a window to the 50s.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same process.
Was that the Anson? Was that the one show that you've stayed kind of connected to? Because it seemed like that one, you know, the cast has stayed fairly close, and that isn't always the case when you just are acting on a show.
But it's very rare. We have an open thread text. Though we can't see each other all the time, we are constantly in touch with each other for 50 years. In fact, Don was his best man at our wedding.
I thought I had saw that. I was going to ask you. I was like, did I see that?
He even had to lend Anson a shirt because his shirt was too big. It looked like a dress when he put it on.
But tell him why. Tell him why.
Well, because his wife,
supposed to try those on ahead of time.
I went to the store to pick up his suit that had been altered, and I said, "Oh well, he's going to need a shirt," and I didn't like the shirt he had picked. Right? He picked this weird shirt, and I'm like, "That's not going to go with my dress." I'm sorry. So I picked out. I said, "You know, give me a white shirt." To the guy, you know, I figured he knows what he's doing. So he comes back with this shirt. Turns out it's like a 17.5-inch neck. You know,
I was swimming in that.
I opened it up the morning of the wedding, and I went, "Well, can I wear? It's actually long enough for the wedding.
Yeah,
it's a wedding nightgown."
Yeah.
And Donnie came and he spent the night here. He goes, and thank God he had a shirt that sort of fit.
Almost.
So almost. So you'll see the tie's a little down because it couldn't quite, right? But yeah, and if Don wasn't there, I'd have been screwed. So yeah, so
that's a good friend.
Yeah,
it's a good friend, and it's a little bit of a story that's now the nation knows. So it's a bit embarrassing.
Anson does not get his own shirts.
No,
he doesn't try them on ahead of time.
Whoa! Now
Anson
we're getting.
Doesn't believe in shirts.
No, stop. Now we're really getting into the weeds in the media. These are how rumors start. Rumors start. No, I get my own shirts. I got my own shirt. She took it back, and I'm assuming she gets another one. It's the same size. I'm assuming, but the salesperson
didn't look at the size
and just gave an overlarge size. I didn't open the package till the morning of the wedding and went, "Oh, you know what?" Yeah. So there we go.
That was bad.
So, but it ended up fine. It ended up being beautiful.
disaster averted.
Just that, and that's enough of our personal life.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, every wedding has its challenges. That's part of what makes them great.
Yeah.
How about this one? We made sure we had the wedding at the house. So that means, and everybody, never do a wedding at your house. It sounds great till you have to put it together. What could go wrong goes wrong. So our block, there's not a lot of parking. So you need to have parking people. And we rent valets. So, thank you. Give me 2 seconds. So I'm really married now. So anyway, we rent a parking lot for the church down the street. And that's where you're going to bring your car in, and they go fine, and you're going to park, and then like kind of a large kind of van shuttle takes you to the house. So you don't have to park there. So here we are, about, not too far away from the wedding, and the valet people come out up, and I go, so where's the shuttle? What shuttle? I said, excuse me, are you kidding me? What shuttle? Oh yeah, I said, there's nowhere to park the cars. So anyway, the shuttle was the personal cars of the valets. Whatever they drove up, they drove down and put people. I mean, there was, beer cans, Coke can, whatever was in their cars. Joints, whatever.
I assumed you just send Dawn to go and shuttle everybody back.
No. So but everyone got there in various ways. But yeah, that was just one of the things. But it ended up being a glorious day, really, seriously. But I could write a script on this. I could write a script.
Well, she was right. Sharon was right, because if she's unhappy with you matching with her dress, you would not have been happy. I'd rather have the oversized shirt.
No. Absolutely. And that was just one of the minor ones.
The Southern expression, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
That's right.
That would have been the situation, okay?
And I don't want to be in that place. I just don't.
No, you do not.
I've gone through life now. I want calm, happiness, fun. I don't need.
That's what happens as we get older. We just want everybody to be happy.
Yes.
As long as it doesn't bother me, just be happy.
Yes. Yeah. You know the story, and you've heard this many times. You want to know a perfect marriage? Tell you a perfect marriage. Perfect. You have a family, you're a guy, and even the wife's really at the time, and you're working hard so your wife doesn't have to work, so your kids can have everything, and you're out there, it's dark, and you're in the car going to your job. Dark. And you work, and you work, and you work, and you work, and you come home, and it's dark. But you open the door, and you go, honey, I'm home. I'm sorry. It won't happen again. Because you did something wrong by not being there. And I'll tell you, everything's calm and everything works.
I always go with the thought that it's better just to go ahead and apologize. If you're in doubt, just go ahead and put that out there, because you probably did something.
That's what I'm saying. You apologize every day because you did something you don't know. So
because you weren't there.
Because you weren't there. But obviously you're not there. You've done something. So you apologize before you even speak, so you can have a nice dinner.
Yeah, it's a preemptive apology.
It's totally, and you will have a 50-year marriage. I swear to you.
Yeah. Well, you have to be sincere though. If you're saying I'm sorry, but you don't mean it, that won't work.
You mean it because you're going to lose anyway. So
have to get out ahead of it.
You just got to be ahead of it. So it's one of those protective things. Just stop it before it even enters.
Yeah. I think that's good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sure my wife would agree with that.
I hope we save some marriages right now.
That was really the only question I had. I really just wanted to help some people with their marriage, and that was it.
Well, now you have a purposeful show here now.
Yeah, I'm a giver.
No, that is giving. You just gave. No, it might be close to Pulitzer on air. I don't know.
This podcast has been called many things, but Pulitzer on air, probably not one of them. So the two of you are working together on a play.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about that. Sharon, tell me a little bit about the play. What's it about? What's your role in it?
Okay, well, first of all, I am not an actress, and I don't play one on TV.
That was a real. You can apologize now. That was a bad intro.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry.
I'm the writer.
Oh, very good. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, and
that's honestly for me, acting would be much harder, but either profession I would struggle with. So yeah. I'm impressed either way.
Thank you. Well, anyway, so as you heard, I'm originally from Roanoke, Virginia, and that's where my story takes place, because it was based on, I had written a number of short stories about my life over the last few years. And people were saying, you really should write a book, and this is really great stuff. And it was actually about growing up in a Southern railroad town with a paranoid schizophrenic mother.
Okay.
And Anson read some of it. He read one of the stories.
Well, by the way, her stories, the short stories, she's being very, subtle about it. Major awards for her stories.
Yeah.
She's a brilliant writer. And so I just want to set that up, but go ahead.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Anson read this. He goes in the shower. He comes out of the shower. And he's like, this is a play. This is a one-woman show. Yeah. You've got to do an adaptation of this. Excuse me. And let's get it on stage. And I thought, really? I've never written a play before. I've written a lot of stuff, but never a play. So that's what we ended up doing. You got to take it for a second.
Oh, sorry.
Help her out.
We have an allergy problem with me, but that's okay.
Anyway, it's tough.
That's a joke. Anyway, no. So anyway, I said no. I just saw. First of all, there's a fabulous actress. There was a friend, Carolyn Hennessy. People might know her. She's 17 years on General Hospital.
Yeah.
And Emmy Award winner, major theater star too, and all this. I said, so we went to work, and she structured. I gave notes, but basically she structured and wrote. I'll tell you, I am serious about Pulitzer Prize winning potential.
Yeah.
Play. One woman with a musician. That's another part of the coloring of the show. That is not only entertaining and you laugh, but you emotionally just break down about mental illness. It's this entertaining show that brings attention to it in a very personal way that really motivates people to get involved.
Yeah.
And just to show you the power of this. So she writes the play, and okay, and we decide to do a reading. And a reading is you usually sit there and read the play and people around the table. And I suggested it's got to be more of a stage reading. First of all, before that, Carolyn Hennessy read it and said, I'm in. I am just in. So we have this brilliant actress. And we rehearsed a little bit at the house, the reading. So we rent a little theater here in Ojai. And it's basically a stage reading with our blues singer and all the elements. And something happened. And just backtracking, I've been in this business 50 years. I have never, ever seen this. I've directed 300 television shows. I won the Humanities Prize writing, this and that. I have never witnessed what happened that night. 80 people came for a reading. At the intermission was a standing ovation.
Wow.
The end of the show, why are feeling these sobs of release? Because even though everyone has a mother, what Sharon has done was so brilliant and connectable and tactile. People they're reliving their own lives. It's cathartic. They're letting it go. And at the end, it was like a standing ovation over 5 minutes. In
Wow.
fact, on and on and on. Father said, Sharon, come here. And we went up and I brought her on stage. I mean, it was like unbelievable moment in time. And went, oh my, this hits the human race. And from that, one thing we've gotten, this is going to be a major play in this country, and a major help to bring attention in a very positive way, in a productive way, about mental illness. Because Sharon was able to take this personal story in Roanoke, Virginia, and hit the hearts of the world. And I'm very excited about where this play is going. And I'm so proud to be part of it as a director. And yeah, and I think what we're going to see here, honestly, is witnessing one of the greatest playwrights in this country.
Oh my God. Okay.
Hey, I love that. And good for you for saying that. I love it.
And by the way, it's called Crazy Mama.
Crazy Mama, A Story of Love and Madness. And most of it is told from the point of view of the 8-year-old child whose mother has a psychotic break.
Yeah.
She has a perfectly normal life up until the time she's 8 years old. And then she comes home to a completely different person who looks like her mother, but doesn't act like her mother anymore.
It's terrifying.
It's terrifying. It's terrifying. And then there's the loss of the mother, because she gets put in Charlottesville, in the psych ward in Charlottesville. And it's like she's died. She's disappeared. She doesn't get to see her. She's too young. So it's all about, I think one of the things that really is lacking in our healthcare system right now, mental health has always been kind of a stepchild in our health system. For instance, at that time, there was no healthcare coverage for mental illness, if you can imagine that. So there's my dad, trying to raise 2 kids and pay all these hospital bills. It was incredible.
Middle-class guy.
Yeah.
And so that was hard. At least we've got that part done, but there's not enough support for the families of mental ill patients. All the focus is on the patient, and there should be a lot of focus on the patient, but the ripple effect that goes through the family is unbelievable. What's happened with my brother, my dad, all of us suffered as a result of it. And if we had just had some help, I think it would have made a big difference. My aunts, my grandmother, stepped in where they could, but they weren't trained for this kind of
Well, yes, right.
Yeah.
But what makes this play special, and I'm not going to get into the details.
Yeah.
It took 40 some years, and she got her mother back. And how?
Boy, spoiler alert.
Well, I have to.
Big
I mean, that's a big deal.
No, I'm saying, no, it doesn't. So what I'm saying is, it's not just a play about. It's a play about mental illness, but it's a bit of a rocky story too, and it's true. It's happy and sad. It's really not. It's joyful and not joyful. It's like, but I will. But that's what makes this play absolutely. The of this play is because of the turn of this play.
I have to see this play at some point.
It takes people against the wall to have one more chance to get your mother back.
Well, let me ask you this, Sharon, without giving too much away. Since we know that you got her back at some point, what was that like? What was your reaction to having her come back in?
Oh, well, what happens when you have a mentally ill parent, in this case, my mother, you feel responsible.
Sure.
You feel responsible for everything that goes wrong, and you feel responsible for them and their well-being, on top of my dad, of course, feeling the same way, but you're growing up, you've got opportunities. I ended up going to New York with Young Rubicam, which is at the time was the biggest ad agency in the world, and becoming a creative director, a writer, but a creative director. And I was always guilty for leaving her you know, in Roanoke. And one of the things that helped me at the very end of getting her back was that we were able to talk about that. And she had all this guilt, as you can imagine. I was filled with guilt. I still have guilt about it, but it's very healing, the play, and actually in my life, that was very healing and redemptive to have this incredible miracle, and I mean it was a miracle, happen in my life and for my mother.
Yeah, amazing, and good for you for actually getting it down so that you can share it. I'm assuming it was cathartic to get it out, but also it sounds like you're wanting to use the play as kind of a platform to shine some light on mental illness, which we definitely need.
Yes, definitely. And when you mentioned St. Albans, rang a bell in my head, because that's where the state mental hospital used to be.
Really?
Shut down. There was one there in St. Albans, and I can remember as a little kid hearing my dad say she's not going to go to St. Albans because they were really the horror shows, you know, in those state hospitals.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you didn't want a family member in a state hospital for sure.
No. So bless his heart, you know, he was able to keep her out of there. And she did go to Charlottesville and Catawba and a whole bunch of other ones, but never a state hospital. But I think about all the people who don't have an advocate like that, you know, who are just at the mercy of the health of the system, and it's difficult. It's tragic.
Wait, if you were suffering a mental illness and you didn't have anybody to kind of advocate for you, I mean, you basically be lost, because you wouldn't maybe have the capacity to, you know, kind of advocate for yourself.
Right. And you know, the healthcare professionals do the best they can,
Sure.
you know, but they don't have the time, especially now, you know, they have 15 minutes with each patient, you know, that's about it. And very difficult. So I'm hoping that some of the support groups that do exist, you know, will step forward, and I would love for them to use this as a way of getting some talk going and get some movements in motion to help destigmatize mental illness, so that we can really look at it and see where we can improve our system.
It is kind of funny that we don't have those stigmatisms as far as physical ailments, but a mental one, there's something wrong with the person. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's still an illness.
No,
which is a major illness in this country right now. It's you know, what they say, half of this.
No, 33% of homeless people.
No, I'm talking about the kids in the school having.
Yes.
Half, they did research. Half of the kids in our school system have some sort of mental problem, minor to major.
That's terrifying.
No, it is staggering, man. This is like, it's not.
It's a crisis.
It's a crisis. It's not just, it's not all major. It's minor that it leads to drug addiction, leads to death. I mean, it is such a catastrophic problem in this country, probably the world. It needs to be taken care of.
And the pandemic just exacerbated it all.
Yeah, because the pandemic, you're faced to look at yourself. You can't run away from anything.
No, you were stuck.
It causes huge problems. But what's great about Sharon's play is, even though we're talking serious, it's entertaining, and you laugh and you cry. It hits you, and it's a remarkable way it hits you, where it's a healthy way, a very positive way of like, I want to help. You look at this play, you go, I want to help. It's a very uplifting, positive embrace to get this thing done. And by the way, we can do all the government thing in the world. It's the families.
Yeah.
It's the families and the grandmothers. We got to understand it, and we've got to embrace it, and we've got to be educated about it. And we are part of the cure, big part of the cure.
That's the big use. To me, that's what the arts are for.
Yes.
You know, to help people heal and understand and get in touch with their own emotions.
Yes.
And that's what we're hoping for.
And what's so great about the play, Carolyn plays 12 parts.
Really?
She plays her father, she plays her brother, she plays herself, she plays her aunt, she plays the mother, she plays the
Was there a reason you decided to go that route instead of just casting all the parts?
It was never written it was written as a one-woman narrative.
Yeah, it was from a first person point of view.
Right.
And so what you have is the narrators relating to you all these things that happen and giving you the dialogue is all of these different characters. And the genius of Carolyn Hennessy is that she has the ability to give each one such a distinct voice and tone that immediately you know who's talking. You know, it's amazing to watch. It really is. And I mean, and a lot of, I have some very funny relatives and some very funny things that happened even in the face of all this tragedy. And my dad especially, you know, I call him the master of stand-up grief.
Oh, I like that.
He used humor, you know, to help us get through this horrible thing. And he was always like that. So anyway, you get to meet all these fun people and understand a lot about how it affects a kid, you know, and how it affects all the adults as well. So
I hear that the dialogue is incredible. Like it's really well written.
Thank you.
Oh, it totally is. And also just the whole arc of the story.
Yeah.
The surprises, unexpected surprises really make it. I mean, I tell you, I don't think in all my career, I don't think I've ever been part of a better written piece ever. It's really special. I'm not.
This is why I married him.
No,
okay?
It's not.
Hey.
No, because
that's a high endorsement right there.
But I'm tough when it comes to anything in entertainment. I mean, it's a hard road. It's a very hard business. And I'm not I'm not easy. I mean, I've directed too much junk and I directed good stuff and this all around whatever. But when something's brilliant, something's brilliant. I know, you know, so I'm not exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating how important this show is and how effective through entertainment and the arts it can be to help a major problem.
Yeah, I love that. And Sharon, that has to make you feel a little more confident about it. You know, Anson, I realize that's your husband, but he got a little bit of experience in the entertainment business. So if he's saying this is one of the best plays that he's been associated with or directed, that has to make you feel a little bit better about it.
At the reading, I mean, we were sitting in the very back, and that was so incredible sitting there and just watching people who were just absolutely stuck in their seats. Nobody got up. Nobody was shifting in their chair. And when I was crying through the whole thing, but I did see a lot. And when they all jumped up on their feet at the intermission, I was like, okay, I think we've got something here. I think I'm going to be able to get people's attention long enough to make a point, you know.
What's really good, there's Charlene Woodard, who's a pretty famous African-American actress. She's also a major playwright, New York, major. Yeah. And she was going to, I invited her to come to the show. I wanted her opinion. And unfortunately, she had some personal business that happened. But after she said, well, how'd it go? You know, the audience will tell you everything. I'm sure, you know, it's a workshop. The audience will tell you everything. So what did it tell you? Well, it told me over a 5-minute ovation at the end of the reading. She goes, what? I said, yeah, standing ovation over. She goes, I think they told us.
I mean, 5 minutes. Have you ever tried to sit still for 5? That's a long time.
I timed it.
Yeah,
I timed it. It was like they wouldn't stop with the sobbing. And it was like everyone, they just let go. It hit something so deep, and I kind of knew that. I said, you know, this show. In fact, I was wrong though. I was wrong. I said, here's what's going to happen. At the end of it, you're going to hear sobbing and silence, and it's going to start like this, and it's going to build, and it's going to build. I was wrong. It started like this with the sobbing. It was a roar. It was simultaneous. It was a roar of
Wow.
And you know what's in our little town of Ojai? It's gotten all over town.
Yeah.
Those 80 people, I don't know how many, it's gone all over town. They can't stop talking about it. They can't stop being affected by it.
Everybody was mad. We didn't
It's
invite
amazing.
All these people are mad they weren't invited. It's like,
we only had this tiny
It's a
theater.
tiny-
Well,
little-
yeah, that was my next question is, what's the plans to show it? Are you showing it there in Ohio, or are you taking it out across the country?
well, now, I mean, that was a reading.
Yeah.
We're closing, looks like we're closing a deal in New York at
Okay.
Bethel Woods, which is where Woodstock
Yeah.
was, but now it's a youth center, artistic center. And we're also in conversation now, this is only a week after, with a major theater here in LA. That will be staged for New York. So yeah, it just came together. So we're just starting to figure out.
Any plans to show it in the Roanoke area?
That would be awesome.
We'd
I
love
would
to
love
do
to do
that.
that. We'll see what happens.
You
Yeah,
know,
you got to keep me posted on that. If you come out
Oh,
this way, we got to
no.
go. We'll make a trip.
Well, who knows? Maybe we'll come to Charleston.
Well, come on.
It's
Put
so-
you in. We got a couple little centers. We can put you up in the studio here.
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
No, but yeah, well, I definitely think we'll be in
We'll be on
Roanoke.
the East Coast.
Well,
I
we'll
would
be on
love
the
to be in Roanoke.
No,
yeah.
you need that. That's just for yourself,
Yeah.
for your
Yeah.
family.
That's right.
You need that personal,
Yeah.
kind of
They may
experience.
not like everything that I said about Roanoke. But
It wasn't. No, you said
well,
something.
no,
It's any city you live in, it'd be the same conversation.
Right, that's right. That's right.
some of the neighbors
Cities
weren't-
just are cities.
Oh no, she's not talking about Roanoke. She's talking about certain personalities
people
that
who
lived in there.
weren't too kind to us.
That weren't, but that's not Roanoke. That's just certain
No.
That's
personalities.
anywhere.
Yeah, I look in Ojai here. You know,
Yeah.
there's plenty of those here too.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
yeah.
You'll always get those kind of prejudice.
Yeah.
We don't want those kind of people in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Sharon, did this inspire you to write more plays? Do you go back to writing books? Where are
Yeah.
you going next?
That's the conversation Anson and I are having right now. And, depending on what happens with the play, what I like about writing plays, I've just found out, is that instead of just being an intellectual experience, it's an emotional experience. And
Yeah.
that makes it so much more exciting for me as a writer than writing a book. So I think probably that's the way it'll go.
I also think screenplays.
Screenplays.
Well, I was
and-
going to bring up screenplays. If you can write a play, you can do a screenplay.
I don't. But one thing about Sharon, you don't know. Years ago, during the Mad Men days, well, later than that.
Later than that.
Yeah,
Come on.
Young and Rubicamp is the biggest advertising firm in the country.
Yeah.
Sharon, at what age?
I'm thinking,
33.
yeah, something like that.
She became the first creative head of
Really?
creative
That's
head.
impressive. I mean, that's pretty young.
She was one of the major creative people in advertising. Award-winning commercials. I mean, major writer, commercials, radio. I mean, she was a major player in advertising.
But the interesting
And she
thing
broke
was
she went through the glass ceiling.
I was the first woman creative director at Y&R.
Wow.
Yeah.
My wife is she's the VP of global compliance for Live Nation. I was telling you, she worked for them.
Oh,
and
cool.
I have watched, for 20 some years, her bump up against that glass ceiling and just keep pushing to get to where she's at. When I was growing up, I never really believed that was a thing, but I've sat there and witnessed it for decades. Glass ceiling, absolutely 100% there. And it doesn't need to be. All we're doing is hurting ourselves because we're holding back, some of our most brilliant people. I don't know, frustrating.
We're holding back individuals.
That's
It's
right.
not women, it's individuals that have goals and talent and need and it's called, what is it? All people. I still obsess me with the Declaration of Independence. They got to get rid of the word men.
Yeah, I
And put-
agree.
And put the word all people are
Yeah.
created equal. It bothers me. I have 5 daughters, so it's bothering the hell out of me. It really does. And 4 of them are black belts.
Oh,
'Cause
wow.
Oh yeah, 1's 4th degree. Because I wanted them to earn something you couldn't buy that took years and hard work. And I also want them to feel empowered.
Yeah.
Anything or anybody, that is prejudice, to like stop someone's career, stop someone's, ambitions and talents.
Yeah. For no reason.
No,
Right.
ignorance,
Right.
just ignorance.
Mhm.
Just, because that's what you brought up. That's what's been inputted in their brain, their computer,
I mean, we've had kind of our chance and we didn't do that great. Maybe we want to make some changes.
I'm always apologizing to my daughter. No, we really messed things up for you kids. I'm sorry, that the baby boomers kind of messed things up.
But the baby boomers, we were activists. We were like that, and all of a sudden we're the problem. It's like,
I know, when did that happen?
What the hell? We have to improve ourselves. We do, and I really believe in the arts for really affecting people.
Yeah,
in a positive way, in an educational way. I think it's really a paramount, kind of direction.
And actually, every project that Anson has done that he controlled, the films and TV shows, were for the greater good. He helped to. What was the thing with the organ donors?
No greater gift.
Yeah,
we doubled the donorship cards through an ABC After School Special.
Yeah,
directed. Yeah,
and he a film that he did with Ron Howard, actually one of your first, right?
Yeah, my first, starring Betty Davis.
Starring Betty Davis.
I've heard of her briefly.
Americans with Disabilities Act.
Oh, right.
Because it was they hired the very first disabled actress in a movie.
Yeah, it's amazing.
This is who this guy is, and thank God. And so
I miss those after school.
Right up this is right up his alley. What we're trying to do now.
Well, when you can engage the creative side, but also kind of engage that part of you that wants to help people. I mean, that's a win-win.
Yeah.
Sure is.
And it's a win for everybody.
Yeah.
What's good about it, on film, what I love, it's forever. So maybe it'll always be rediscovered, because
let's hope so. Yeah. Congrats to you both. I mean, that's amazing, sharing that. Congratulations on the story. And then I would absolutely love to have an opportunity to work with my wife on something. I mean, we run our own little business and we do that stuff, but to actually be able to create something because she's very creative, I would love it. So I mean, to me, that's one of the best parts of the story is that you get to work together.
Yeah.
It was an amazing experience.
We worked so well together.
Because even when we first met, that really wasn't part of it very much.
No.
It just happened to be there. That we both had strong points and we're able to combine them and really have this a whole other level to our relationship.
Yeah. I mean, the best relationships are the ones where you can kind of help each other in areas that you're weaker in.
Exactly.
My wife and I talk a lot about the fact that we've been able to grow together and we're so much better individually now than we were when we got together, but it's because of the support we've given each other.
Exactly.
That's the best part of marriage. That's what it's supposed to be like.
It is. Yeah. It's the part I think a lot of people mess up.
Yeah.
That should be the easy part, being able to support each other.
They get stuck
like each other.
They get stuck into stereotypes, they don't take time for each other, and all of a sudden it just becomes kind of by rote.
Yeah.
Routine and you've got to stay stimulated in many areas, and that really keeps you going, and with respect,
Yeah.
Fun and doing things and completing things together. Wow, look what we did from nothing. Wow, it'll add years to your life, man. It really will.
Yeah, I totally believe that. I'm so a little jealous that you've got to do that together, because that's awesome. I mean, when you're in a relationship that's working well, and then you're able to go and actually work together and not shoot each other while you're doing it. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Even this morning, I'm putting together a little pitch for a particular project.
Yeah.
And I go, hey babe, here, it's your, go, please, look at this. She goes, oh, give me 20 minutes. So she goes, I go, yeah, it's a lot better. I said, considering you're going to get half.
Go for it.
Go for it. No, but it's true. I go back to, I go, thank you. You're looking like a lot better. Thank you. It's true. I go, whoa, that's pretty good. Whoa, well, you goosed that part. Pretty cool. All right.
Well, so if our listeners, our watchers are wanting to find out more about Crazy Mama, where do they go? Where can they go to find out?
So right now, just be on the lookout for it. I mean, we just started. It's so exciting because it was months to put it together. We just got it started. It's like what? It's going on 2 weeks since the reading, and we're putting everything together now.
That's the exciting part.
It usually takes years. Yeah. Bam, it's happening. So all I'm saying is when you start hearing about it, crazy, go. Go see this show.
We'll check back with you. How about that?
Well, you have to. Yeah, once you get it out, you got to come back and give us an update.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. And Harlan will be in charge of all that. So he'll tell you. Yeah.
Harlan's the man.
Yeah,
yes, he is.
He is the man.
He is so good to work with. I really, really enjoy. And the part I love about him is he doesn't just email. He always calls. Yes. And that's kind of a lost art.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is.
And he's also, he was one step away from being a major Broadway star.
Really?
Yeah, he understudied this. So he was in theater. He's an actor, stayed for years, but he's still
and great singer.
A great singer and very connected to Broadway. In fact, he was one of the biggest Broadway successes in the world. Hello, Dolly. Jerry Herman. He was Jerry Herman's publicist.
Really?
Hello, Dolly.
Well, I got to ask him about that.
Carol Channing. No, he is like major in theater. Yeah.
Well, I love that. That actually makes the fact that he loved the play even better.
Oh yeah, that's how he's bowled over. Yeah.
Harlan said he's not one to put out, kudos. He said, oh, that's nice. Oh, that works. He goes, I won't say exactly what he said because it's public here. He says, I don't blow smoke out, you know what. He says, I got to tell you something. He says, this is Pulitzer Prize material. He goes, what you have here is so good and so important. It is Pulitzer Prize material.
That's high praise.
Yeah, I mean, he was that moved. Yeah, wow. You can talk to him. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask him about it now because I had no idea.
Yeah. So yeah, it was It's the beginning of a great adventure.
I love that. Any plans, Anson, to dip your toe back into politics at some point?
Not in my lifetime. Actually, I learned, boy, running for mayor and all that was such an education.
Yeah.
It was really
it was great, actually.
It was a microcosm of Washington. I mean, I learned so much. And what I learned was, I think actually it's kind of a joke. If you want to get anything done really good, like if you want to do good things, own a politician, don't be a politician.
That's terrible.
That's funny though.
I'm serious, like to get things done. It was great. And I'm going to do but I kind of learned where the levers are to get things done. And I think I can do more not being in the chair because you get caught up in so much soap opera and just sideways for so much baloney and whatever. Because everything I said would happen when I was running for mayor, which has happened. The city manager walked out the other night, literally walked out, quit. Wow.
Yeah, that's not good.
Oh, because it's a mess. It's a mess. And it's out of control. And this is what happens when you just have the wrong combinations of people that aren't for the community, but they're out for themselves. And they don't have the intelligence or the instincts to reach out and bring in the needs to make things work. They're not futurists, the what ifs. And and actually in our community, the what ifs, we're talking years ago. No one was a futurist.
Yeah.
And now we're $50 million in deferred maintenance. And because of the lack of vision, there's really economically, the place is in big trouble because of not really seeing what's going on, how to fix. We really desperately now need some major consultants in here that are experts in small city economics to be able to come in and figure out how to get out of this mess. One catastrophic problem that happens in this community, we're bankrupt, gone. Their contingency fund in a major community is $400,000. You don't have to put this on air, but that's not enough to build a guest house. If there's a
That's not much. That's not much.
This community, I mean, truly. And anyway, there's so many problems that, and I'll work, and Sharon too. They want her to be mayor. She's smarter than I am, but we don't want. We would get caught up in just a mess, and it's a mess that needs to be cleared up. So we can do more. We can do more behind the scenes than in the chair.
Well, you might not be doing the play.
So
If
the
you
answer,
that's
become mayor.
it's everything.
going to be touring the play,
No.
hopefully.
And we have a lot, and also I'm going, we have a lot, our years left in life, man. I want to do things that count, that
That's right.
benefit. And the one thing, here's the thing too, I thought about people, we'd win mayor tomorrow, we win tomorrow because we lost by 40 votes.
I know. Is it harder to lose by a small amount or a bigger amount?
It's harder to lose, but anyway, but anyway, but losing, we won because it went out there, and then everything we said what happening. Now they're begging us, right? And I thought about it, and honestly, Sharon came up. She goes, God, we're gonna win. Then what are you gonna do? What contribution are you gonna make? You're running on ego. You said we all have. I think you're thinking more ego. Of like, oh, screw, I'm gonna. Then, what you gonna do? What you can do?
Right.
Thought about it, and I went, you're right.
It's only a 2-year term.
No, I'm running.
No,
Oh, that's short.
Yeah.
But I'm running on ego. Yeah, I'll win. But what are you gonna do with it? And I started looking at what I'm gonna deal with. I won't get it. There's so much more we can do in those 2 years with the play that could be so productive and worthwhile in your life.
Right.
Than sitting there for 2 years dealing with nonsense and things you can't control. And literally at the end of 2 years, you can end up really doing very little, no matter what your goal is. And I go, however, over here, we can actually save lives. We can actually, and we've been doing this. We've been doing this for years. I'm going, okay, I'm over. No, we're over here. We'll support over here. We'll be consultants over here. We'll do everything we can over here. But I ain't taking the arrows for this one. Because I cannot. I went, you're right. It's more ego than what I can do. Time developed. And so I'm not. Even though we'd win, we're now desperately trying to find a way to bring in the right people to win, because we're talking decade. We're talking a decade to fix this. So in the meantime, we can be doing this amazing play and really contribute to that cause. I have other things we're doing that are wonderful, that can really have a bigger purpose for doing.
Well, yeah, that makes perfect sense to me.
And
it's such a commitment when you go into political office, no matter what size of the office. It's so time consuming.
But the thing,
and you don't have control.
Right.
You don't have control, and that's one thing that's nice in a way about what we're working on now. This project, at least we have some control over it. This is our creative product. Yeah,
and we'll get something done.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't mind the hard work as mayor. I mind not getting results because of the political problem in the community. That I mind. Where no matter what you do, they're going to come up with some false narrative, something to make sure it doesn't happen, even though it benefits the community. it's just going to be on a merry-go-round.
Right.
And if I was 50, 40 years old, I would go, okay, hell yes, I see what it's going to take, and it's going to take years. We don't have years.
Right.
It won't happen in our lifetime, I don't think. So to really correct it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and you don't want to spend all of your remaining time just butting your head against the wall. That's no fun.
Fight. Yeah.
No,
look at Congress. That's
it's
the same thing happening here.
It's exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
It's the same thing. It's like, it's crazy. I could write a book on this. You can't invent what's going. You cannot invent what went on.
Are you saying that you're going to write a book?
I might. Funny, Ron Howard and I was very supportive. We talked this whole campaign, and I'd say, you think you've heard you haven't even heard anything yet. And he's kept going, geez, no, I can't create these characters. I can't make them up.
I think it's more of a mini series than a book.
It's like a cartoon.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's like I was actually going in fairly ignorant, going in with heart. We can correct this, and we could. All this wonderful stuff we could do, and then the world comes in the middle of it.
The downside is we can't go to the grocery store anymore. Because every time we go to the grocery store, this crowd of people comes up and says, Anson, save us. The world's out of control. If you'd been mayor, none of this would have happened.
It's true.
And it's actually true. But they're begging him to run. And I mean it. Everywhere we go, it's like
awesome.
That. Dinner, everywhere.
But let me be very simple.
But I'm in the background going, no.
No, I'm in the no, basically it's very simple. I don't want a divorce.
That's right.
There are priorities, and the priority way overrides that.
Yeah.
It sounds good. You go around, oh, you're the mayor, oh, this. Well, I went through stardom and all that stuff through the years. I mean, God, what happened is I went through all that, and yeah, it sounds good, but then what comes with it?
Right.
We'll destroy you. I don't want a heart attack. I don't,
Yeah.
I want to take the talents we have, the love of my life. Thank God I have my life, and the talent we still can put out there, and damn well do positive things, productive, positive, successful ventures. That's it. That's what gets me going every day.
Yeah, and I think that's the way to be. I mean, challenge yourself, find things that you're passionate about, work on that stuff. Don't tie yourself up with nonsense.
Yeah. You want to be a giver, not a taker.
That's right.
You want to give, and that's giving of yourself. It's like, man, really being, and being purposeful keeps your mind going, keeps you young, keeps you productive, helps your immune system, helps your body chemistry. It really does. You don't need that kind of stress and frustration. I mean, I'm so glad I'm here. When I was directing, and I stopped directing full time, I did 1/3 of Secret Life of the American Teenagers.
Yeah.
And helped Shailene Woodley a lot. And after that, I went, I'll produce and write, but I'm done being on the set. Because unless you can be your own island, like Ron Howard or something, where you really have control. But if you're kind of hired most of the time, it's very stressful business. And it's not even on the internet anymore. But years ago, I'm directing, and
did we freeze up? Okay, so we froze up for just a second, so I paused this. So yeah, just finish that last thought.
What I'm saying, this isn't on the internet anymore, but when you direct segments as a director, there's usually a director directing the current show. Then you come in and you start prepping your show.
That's right.
And then when you start directing your show, someone else comes in prepping their show. So I got to know a lot of directors.
Yeah.
Very talented. And all of a sudden, through the years, I go, well, where's so-and-so? Well, he died. Where's so-and-so? Well, he died. So I looked up on the internet. The average lifespan of a director, which includes production managers and assistant directors, that category, was 57 years old.
Oh my gosh.
That was the stress and pressure. I mean, it's now if you're doing movies, that's all television directors. Very few movie directors. You have time, you have budgets. If you're in television, it's a very stressful job. You're dealing with personalities. You're the guest person. You got budgets. They want Gone with the Wind for 10 cents. You know, you have to please the line producer. You got to please the showrunner. You got to please the network, and everyone's like this. And I finally learned the reason, and I'm saying, and I survived that. And the reason I survived that, I got to the point where I thought, you know, I'm doing my job, I'm doing a good show, I'm under budget, and I'm not going to take this egocentrical abuse that they love putting it on you. And I basically said, you know something? I'm not putting up with this crap. If you don't like what I'm doing and come think, don't hire me. Don't hire me. But I'm not putting up with this. And you know, I came in the top 5% television directors. That's how much I was working because they respected it.
Yeah.
But it's exhausting, man. I at the time I lived in a city where I had to leave an hour earlier than normal just to get there, just in case there was traffic or something. So I'm up at 10 to 4 every morning.
Yeah.
Getting ready, and then
that's too early.
It was exhausting. So finally, you know, I just said enough of that, because you want to live a long life. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
And and went behind the cameras. It's, you know, and where we are today. But what I'm saying is, I went through that stress. I'm not going to go through it politically again.
Right.
No, I'm not going to resort to the bottle. So I just, you know, no, it's just, unless you can be productive and really effective, don't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I've actually, I'm friends with some mayors, and they've said that, and they're in the job now. They're like, you know, if I could have went back, I probably wouldn't have done it.
Right. Now
just because of the stress. Yeah.
It's humongous, and it's more stressful when you have this unfair conflicting situations.
Yeah.
You know, it just because of ridiculous stuff, because of people's ignorance or their egos, and, you know, their need to believe.
Well, the ego screws up our politics at every level.
It screws up everything.
Yeah.
Any profession.
You think that if you're in office, you're just going to do what's the best for the most people most of the time.
Right.
That's not how we operate.
No, because I don't, because they want their little piece. Everyone's, right. You know,
everybody's got an angle.
They want a reason for being, and I see this, and they're for nothing. They create conflict for attention, and the result is negative. There's nothing. It's for themselves. It's not for the community, but they act like it's for the community.
Well, we're seeing that with Congress now on both sides. You know, it's too much selfishness going on.
We were a microcosm of Washington. Literally, you could have just changed the same. You know, but running, I so appreciated it. It was such an education on human nature. It was just such an education. Yeah,
it sounds like it worked out for the best, because now you've got to do the play with each other, and you kind of learned, okay, maybe that's not exactly what I want to get into. So it worked out well.
It worked out. Also, we broke open the door. Right now, we exposed everything.
Yeah, and that's big.
And that's why everything's going, and that's why there's the havoc now. Yeah. We exposed it, and the community, what? They woke up, and now there's these. So I'm saying we did a great thing, but it's going to take a long time to balance it all out.
Yeah,
it's all coming. And what happened was, it's that, and then the cause and effect of those years of mismanagement. It's all coming to a head now too. So everything's happening at once, and. So, and I think it will get corrected. I think divine intervention is going to happen, but I think we did our job, man. We did our job. We went out there, and boy, it was crushing. What they say about you, it's like, God. I learned about things about myself I didn't know existed. You know, I mean, literally making up stories, making up all sorts of
social media.
They don't.
Yep.
I mean, you have to have a thick skin. And we did. And I went, wow, look at that. I mean, I did just for entertainment, but you did, yeah, but they're saying this about you. I go, yeah, it comes with the territory. But it was just amazing. It was like really rude, totally rude, and not true, and just made up stories. And I went, wow.
Well, yeah, I've always, to me, it always seems like when your platform's kind of weak, that's when you normally start attacking your opponent, because you don't have anything you're really running on.
Oh yeah, it was so funny because we do ads. This mayor who's in now, who's just a person run by this other group.
Yeah.
Like literally, I kept saying, won't debate. Would not debate. Would not. Yeah. Sharon came up with this great advertising campaign. We put these ads in the paper, the loneliest candidate. And it was
I love that.
It was me. It was me. Pictures of me like this.
Just sitting in a big room all by himself.
Yeah, I'm waiting to debate. And it was so funny. There was one. It wasn't even a debate. It was what would you call it? The Democratic.
Oh, it's a forum.
It was a forum where they asked you questions and you'd answer, right?
Yeah.
But you couldn't even go back and forth with your opponent. You would just, and I go, all right. So I'm there. She doesn't show up. So there I am with a mic, and there's no one next to me. We took that picture. We did the loneliest candidate all the way through. And honestly, this is an incumbent, right?
Yeah.
And it came from nothing. Oh, you're Hollywood, you're this, you're that. When she ran with nothing but signs, she was running against a very smart council member running for office.
Yeah.
And he lost by 40%. I mean, like, she kicked with doing just out of icing. Signs.
Yeah, just freezing him out. Yeah.
Yeah, and he didn't do much himself. He thought it was ridiculous. She's running. I lost by 1.116%.
That's amazing. That's so close.
40 votes from, I mean, that's like crazy.
That's nothing.
That was to get that close was crazy. But what was so great is the best thing was losing, because it was able to win. It was able to expose.
Yeah.
And now I know if I ran, I'd win. So what? You win that, but you need a team. You need a
yeah, you can't do that by yourself.
No, you need a good council. Yeah. And right, I mean, we had a great city manager, James, and he was very smart, because I knew of finding another job, but he did it very nicely, and he got out of there. There was an interim city manager. He's an expert at coming in and running a city and bringing in the next city manager, finding the right person. And this guy is major, brilliant, incredibly good, and trying to find the right city manager because you really need someone strong and visionary and
hard job,
and really get it. And he's trying. It got so, this council is so messed up, so ignorant, so, I won't say the words. We had a closed session last week, and it started, and this city manager who never, are you frozen?
No,
you're not. Okay,
yeah.
Good. You looked at, you were so.
I was just listening intently.
This city manager, who's like revered, never walked out of the meeting. I quit.
That's terrible.
I'm done. That was a special closed session before the council meeting the next day. That night, he left. He said, I'm gone. I'm done. Good luck. And so the council meeting last night, no city manager. I think they had a 15-year-old kid playing city manager. There's some guy like you.
That's terrible.
You know, right? Yeah. And that's how messed up this town is.
Yeah, I don't envy you that. But it
And here's
sounds
the-
like you're at least trying to make a difference with it, which that's really all you can do.
Oh, we could have done a lot. No, when you have a city manager like that, when you have someone brilliant that knows a lot more than you
Yeah.
about running a, you sit down and you go, teach me. Hey, how about this? What can we, you bring them into your heart. You collaborate. You make it, you use that experience.
Yeah.
Who do you know? How can we do? And you're creative, and that's how you get great things done. And we lost someone really terrific. So, so yeah, no, I'm not,
Long story short, no more politics.
No, I'm not jumping in that seat, man. There ain't no way. No.
Well, Anson, thank you so much. And thanks to Sharon too. This has been amazing. I have to come see that play.
Yes. And we'll let you know too.
Yeah, please do. Cause that sounds amazing. And if Harlan likes it, that's a winner.
Oh, he more than likes it.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah. It's important. Anyway.
Oh, I wanted to tell you before I let you both go. My mother with that, and she's not a TV person. She doesn't watch TV and stuff, but she's a music person.
What person?
Had to make sure to let you know that "Deeply" still one of her favorite songs.
You ask, is my love real? All I can say is how I feel deeply, deep inside of me. Hi, Mom.
See, I know it because she's always singing that song. The whole time I was growing up, she was singing that song.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so sweet. Charlie Fox and Roger Gimbel, who wrote Killing Me Softly.
Oh, yeah.
And who wrote Girl from Ipanema, and also the Happy Days theme, Laverne and Shirley theme, Love Boat theme.
Oh, is that all?
Fox, yeah.
Well, before I let both of you go, Sharon, if you could go over, any website, social media, anything you have, and then Anson, if you could do the same, that way we can keep up with you and you can let us know when the play's getting ready to come out.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, my Facebook, it's still in my previous name, so it's just Sharon Maharry, Maharry.
Okay.
And my Twitter is Ojai Sharon at Ojai Sharon.
I like that one.
Yeah. OJAI Sharon. What else do I have?
I don't know. I'm so bad with social media. It's terrible. It's really.
I know it's a necessary evil in some respects.
Yeah. So it'll be active on all those things.
Yeah. Once again, I'm really bad, really, really bad with it. I trying to figure out how to tweet.
We'll have a crazy mama site.
We'll have a crazy mama site up.
Yeah.
We'll get that up.
Yeah.
Because we just started. We'll
Yeah,
get
you
that
have
up.
to get that up.
I have an Anson. I'm public. Anson Williams Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah, it comes right up.
Huh?
It comes right up. When you put your name in, it comes right up.
No, it's Anson Williams.
Okay. All right.
Everything else. Yeah, I have to. I'm so bad with that stuff.
Well, you got to get a guy. You got to get a person.
I really, honestly, I really do. It's like
to run your stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't stuff. It's like
you could probably just go on and grab one that's running a fake account and just like, how would you like just to run the real one?
That's true. I go, yeah, I'll pay. No, we got to get it. We have to do a whole crazy one.
Yeah, we do.
And I will totally stay out of it. So you get it set up right.
That's probably smart.
I screw up because I don't remember. I'm so bad. I really. It's like,
well, thank you guys so much. And please, when the play does come out, please come back. Give us an update on it.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. This has been the best. I've been looking forward to this all week, so I'm so glad we were able to do it.
Oh yeah, it's just wonderful. Thank you so much for the time.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. Yeah, hold on one second. Anson Williams and his wife, writer Sharon Williams. I can't believe I said actress, but in my defense, Anson is one that you guys have been watching the podcast for a while. I get nervous. I'm a fan, especially with those actors that I grew up, kind of admiring. Anson definitely fits that bill. So I got a little nervous. Made a little faux pas. Said actress instead of writer, and I knew better. But both of them just terrific. Sharon was so gracious, and obviously just a talented lady. I can't wait to see Crazy Mama, and I have heard from a few people that the dialogue is stellar, just amazing. And those of you that have been listening for a few years, I'm a dialogue guy. That's my favorite part of any TV show or movie. It's not the action, it's not the special effects, it's the writing and the dialogue. I love character development. I love to learn about the different characters in a play or a movie, a TV show, whatever it is. So really excited to see that one. And mental illness, such a difficult subject for a lot of us. Most of us have somebody in the family that struggles with something, and it's so difficult sometimes to help. So if Crazy Mama can help, kind of shine a light on those issues, those difficulties, that has to be a good thing. So please support this project. I know it's early. They're just doing the table read. I spared them my table read horror story. I've told that on here a few times, but they're just getting started. So over the next weeks and months, we should hear exactly where Crazy Mama is going to be shown, where we can see it. Sounds like it might be out New York way. I would be really shocked if she doesn't make a trip through Virginia, since that's where it takes place, especially around the Roanoke area. I love Charlottesville. My wife worked there with Live Nation for several years. She would drive the 3.5 hours to get there every other week, spend the week there, and come home on the weekends. This is when our kids were still at home growing up. Not an easy time, but a beautiful area. I always enjoyed going out there with her. Thank you guys for tuning in again this week. I can't believe we got to speak with Anson Williams. That was a blast, and I didn't get to ask him really about a lot of the stuff because I was so interested in the play that they're working together. And I love it when couples work together. I just think that's the best. But I did, and I will ask him when he comes back. I was curious about his favorite Happy Days episode, curious about the whole jumping the shark situation and what he thought about that, because it kind of became part of the lexicon. And I wanted to ask him about working with Matthew Perry on the Odd Couple. So I'll save those for next time, and we'll get some answers. He, as good as an actor that he is, and he's terrific, even better as a director. I mean, I knew Secret Life of American Teenager because my oldest actually watched that show when she was growing up. She loved it, but he's done directing for Sabrina, for Lizzie McGuire, for Charm, Baywatch, Beverly Hills 90210, Melrose Place, hit my wheelhouse: Star Trek Voyager, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Hercules, Sequest, Boy Meets World, Diagnosis Murder. That was the one I was trying to think of. Loved him on that. I also wanted to mention that his role of Potsie was named Potsie, I think, because he enjoyed working with clay. I think was supposed to be the story. He enjoyed making pots out of clay, and got the nickname Potsie. His first appearance in that character was actually on Love American Style, and I think Ron Howard was on there as well as Richie Cunningham, and then from that they spun that off to Happy Days. Anson it was really revolving around him and Ron, and then eventually other characters started to emerge. Henry Winkler. They brought in other actors that did well, and it became more of an ensemble. But there originally it was really about the relationship between him and Richie Cunningham, and of course Ralph came in there too. as kind of a partner buddy type of thing with just absolutely love Happy Days. And I've been going through, all the old great shows from the 70s and 80s and binge watching them. I just finished Cheers. I just finished Frasier. I know Frasier was more the 90s, but the character started back in the 80s. And now I'm working on stuff from the 70s, and Happy Days is on the list. I can't wait to go back through that. Should be a blast. If you guys are finding us, Too Opinionated, for the first time, thank you. We are so happy to have you with us and would love to have your support. A couple of easy ways that you can support us. They're easy. They're free. If you prefer to watch, our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. All we ask is that you subscribe. First time I've talked in a while. You think I wouldn't get tongue-tied. If you watched me a couple minutes before an interview running through voice exercises to try to enunciate correctly, you'd probably be just as frustrated as I am when I struggle to get the words out. If you prefer to watch, MeisterCon Pod on YouTube is our channel. Please just subscribe. Just hit that subscribe button. Really helps us out. Doesn't cost you anything. Even better way to help us is IMDb, which is the entertainment database, imdb.com, recently named us a top 100 podcast. I'm shocked too. There's 15 million podcasts out there to make the top 100 list on the entertainment database. Amazing. I don't have words to express the gratitude that I have for all of you that have tuned in. But if you go to imdb.com, look up Two Opinionated Podcasts, and just bring the page up, you can look around. We've got almost 700 episodes on there. I guarantee you'll find a ton of people that you're fans of, but you don't have to. Just bring the page up, and just that traffic on the page really does help us. So there's a couple of easy ways that you can help us, although I kind of made them complicated, dragging out the explanation. So apologies. Thank you guys so much. Until next time, bye, everybody. Hi, everybody. I'm once again here to ask for your support. It's been a big year for the Two Opinionated podcast. Back in February, we got to live out a dream, moderate for William Shatner here in our hometown. In May, we passed 100,000 downloads on our YouTube channel, and we followed that up in June with 50,000 downloads on the audio side. We recently posted our 600th episode, which is pretty good volume for just a father and son operation. Not too many podcasts can keep that volume up. We've been doing this now for 4.5 years, 600 plus episodes. We recently hit 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, which is a really big deal for us because we've always gotten the views, but have struggled to get people to subscribe. So that 1,000 was a big deal for us. And best of all, we were recently named one of the top podcasts on IMDb, which is the entertainment database. Those that are ahead of us, we came in at number 82. Those that are ahead of us are bigger companies like Disney, mostly Marvel, and Joe Rogan, that type of podcast. So for us, being just a small West Virginia father and son podcast, to be in the top 100 out of 15 million, it's a pretty big deal for us. So thank you for everything you've done for us so far. Got a couple little ways, though, that you can help us, and they're free, and they're really easy. If you haven't checked out our YouTube channel yet, please go to YouTube. It's under MeisterCon Pod. Just hit subscribe. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. Really helps us a ton. And maybe even more important, if you could go to imdb.com, look up the Two Opinionated podcast, and just look around the page. Just having that traffic on the page really helps us out. So that's a couple easy ways that you can support us, even if you're not listening or watching all of the time. And we want you to listen and watch, because I think that our guest list, I would put up against anybody. any other show, podcast, anybody out there. I think our guest list holds up. So please check us out. You probably will find somebody that you like, or maybe somebody that you didn't know you liked, but kind of discovered them on there. There's tons of that. If you're into music, we have that too. If you like books, we've got authors on there. If you're more into what goes on behind the scenes in the entertainment world, we've got producers, directors, video artists, anything you can think of that happens behind the scenes, we've had them on the show. So definitely check us out. Thank you guys so much. Until next time. Bye, everybody.